there on Sunday means that he kind of leaves, not with his reputation intact, because at all it isn't intact, but he does leave with the ability to say, well, actually, I got them to a cup final and, I didn't get the chance to take them through that cup final. If I had, they would have won. If we lose, if they kept me there, I would have won that because I had my tactics. I already beat Guardiola this season. So, I would have done it again. I had tactics worked out. So he's been given that buy effectively to come out and say, well, they didn't give me that opportunity. They cut my tenure short. And I think he should have had that, because if we lose, we need to lose at his hands so that it's actually shown that he was a big part of it. But by the same token, if we win, Ryan Mason, fucking hero, get in.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm looking forward to that, because when Pochettino came in and he brought Kane into the side, although Sherwood said he did it, but he didn't really. Obviously, with Kane and Mason, they were the two instigators to actually make that team what it was. To get rid of the players like Kabul and Adebayor and what have you. They were the cast.
How old is Mason? How old is he? Because he's
29.
Yeah, he retired when he was 26.
Will he be the youngest manager at a cup final? Domestic cup final?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I don't know, but he's going to be managing, and he's going to be managing players that are older than him in there, isn't he? Like Alderweireld and Lloris.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It'd be quite interesting actually if he went, do you know what? Like, apart from Kane and Son, because obviously they're model professionals. Fuck you lot! I'm putting the academy players in. Yeah. Actually, those are the players that I've worked with. But obviously we do need a couple of strikers. So I'll put Kane and Sonny in there. But we're going to play the academy.
I'm fielding the under-23s. so that when they win it, they will get the medals, not you bunch of fucking wasters.
Yeah.
Wasn't there the rumor that the under-23s beat the first 11 in training a couple of weeks ago? Whether that was just another thing on the rumor mill of just sort of,
really?
But I mean, there's Dane Scarlett, isn't there? Who sort of been he's made the bench a few times. But I mean, you would think the obvious thing to do, and don't be wrong, I think clearly he's been doing really well with the under-23s, so there's more to it than this. But I remember about 6-7 weeks ago seeing like people saying if we brought back Harry Redknapp, for the bounce, and thinking, Harry Redknapp is now a pensionable reality TV star, let's face it. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, thinking, actually, it would be better than this, and the kind of tap them on the bum and send them out and tell them to express themselves. And you just kind of think, surely the gimme for any manager now, if Gareth Bale, if Dele Alli, if maybe even Toby Alderweireld aren't absolutely, chomping at the bit to get out there, show what they can do, and kind of say, and it's that post Jose bounce of like, you look at Luke Shaw and Paul Pogba and players that have had issues with him. I mean, let's not forget he cast aside De Bruyne and Salah early on in their careers. I mean, this guy doesn't have a great track record of freezing out players who then go on to become superstars. So, Chuck Bell and Ali straight back in, hopefully, and they might propel us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's quite exciting, actually, isn't it?
Well, I'm actually now looking forward to watching the game.
Yeah.
Because genuinely not entirely sure what's going to happen. So I was pretty convinced on Sunday we go out under Mourinho, not entirely sure what the setup's going to be, but I was pretty convinced that it wasn't going to be a pleasant watch and we will probably lose it. Now it's almost like anything can happen. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. No, exactly.
And going back to what we were saying earlier, that's quite an exciting prospect. So, I might actually take my laptop to the pub and watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Man City, how do you prepare for this? Because if you were, Man City expecting Mourinho, you'd sort of know what to expect. As a fan, we've already said, pretty shit dross football, not very attacking, catch you on the break. But we have no idea how this Tottenham side's going to set up. I mean, they might give a little bit away on Wednesday, but...
Yeah. And do you really think Man City need to prepare for us, Sarah?
No.
I mean, with all due respect to the club and the fact that I support the club and I want them to do well, but ultimately Man City just play the same way every game and expect that to be sufficient. And generally it is. So I'm not sure that Pep is going to do a lot different. He'll just keep trying to pass us to death and play the ball into the 18-yard box and square it across for someone to tap in on the far post. Invariably, that's how they play. So I'd be very surprised if they don't do the same thing.
Don't spoil the fun.
So Andy, can you edit that out, please?
I will.
I'll tell you what. The game coming up Wednesday against Southampton is going to be really interesting to actually see what the fuck has been going on behind the scenes at Spurs. Because imagine if Bale suddenly starts, then Dele appears, and Alderweireld starts. I think it's going to speak volumes as to
and
what
how they
was
play.
actually what was going on in the background under Jose.
Yeah.
Just on the Alderweireld thing. I mean, Bale. With all due respect to Bale, I kind of exonerate him because I don't think that. Rumour has it today that Bale was not a Mourinho signing, and that it was someone that Levy brought in, and that Mourinho would have preferred the money that we expended on wages, etc., to be used elsewhere. But if for example, Alderweireld, suddenly plays a lot better, then for me, in my estimation, he goes down because he was one of the mainstays or one of the big players for the club under Pochettino, who suddenly he didn't want to sign a contract, he wasn't playing, all of this sort of bollocks, and then when Pochettino left, he signed a contract straight away, and all of a sudden he was pro Mourinho, and everything was good and everything was funny, and if that suddenly is fallen away again within the space of 18 months, and he, as a professional, at 32 years old or however old he is, 31, 32, who should know better, cannot motivate himself to perform better, then he goes down in my estimation. And the same goes for Danny Rose, actually, because they're talking about Danny Rose today and saying about how there's quotes of him saying that he would like to now return to training and make himself available or whatever it is for the last quarter or the last part of the season. You're a professional footballer that's getting paid per week more than I probably get paid a year, right? And you can't be bothered to put the effort in, whether you're part of the first team, the first 11 or that first team squad, you can't be bothered to put the effort in because you don't necessarily agree with the manager. I don't think that's on. And I don't think that you should then turn around and go, well, actually, now that he's fucked off, I'm ready to put a shift in, especially, sorry, Jay, I'll let you come in a sec, but especially considering in terms of the last pictures, if you look at the last pictures of him compared to, say, Jesse Lingard, right, who kept himself fit, the Jesse Lingard that everyone took the piss out of and didn't want, who was able to step straight back onto a pitch for West Ham. You couldn't say much to Danny Rose tomorrow and say, right, we need you on Wednesday.
No.
He's not going to be
nowhere near ready.
Nowhere near in that condition. So that speaks a lot about actually what hit him rather than, about, I think, about the managers themselves necessarily. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just really briefly, that, if Gareth Bale probably gets paid more in a week than you do in a year, then the drinks are on you next time we meet up, mate.
I didn't say about Gareth Bale. I said about who was the other one I said about?
Danny Rose.
It was Danny Rose.
Yeah.
It was Danny Rose,
right. Okay.
He's on significantly less than Gareth Bale. I can assure you.
I was thinking bloody hell, Wasn't doing all right.
That's right.
I said that right bastard doesn't buy many drinks.
That's why I'm doing
down
really
the
well.
tunnel
I buy a lot of drinks.
Sorry, I've one eye on the darts while you were talking. So all I heard was money per week and what you earn in a year, and I just put 2 and 2 together and came up with the European Super League.
Okay, so what do we all think are the positives of the European Super League? There must be positives in this. There can't be all negatives. Steve?
About positives specifically, and I know obviously that Levy and Enoch are getting a load of shit rightfully, but what I would say is that, I mean, there's two ways to look at this. We don't know if the people that are doing the Super League are doing this just for leverage for the Champions League or whatever other means that they're doing. But if the Super League goes ahead, right, and we were not, it gets this massive fanfare because it's then, it's going to happen. It's going to get this massive fanfare, and we're not one of the clubs that's involved. And you see all the other clubs just fucking, skyrocket, and just explode effectively. And we would be looking at it, as much as we're pissed off now, we'd be looking at it and going like our club died. The owners didn't do enough to make it happen. There's a lot of stuff where, like, I'm seeing people saying like, get the owners out. Like, we're not happy. I'm not happy. Honestly, I'm not happy about this. But get the owners out. Like, Carragher was like, well, they got rid of the previous people, so now we're going to get just get the supporters to get rid of FSG or Fenway or whoever it is that's in charge of them now. It's not that easy. It's not going to be that easy. I haven't got £2 billion to and we can't. We're not going to be able to get that sort of money to get rid of ENIC out of Spurs and get rid of.
And you can only do it if they want to sell. They're a private company, so it's bollocks.
And why would they want to sell if they've got the prospect of getting 300 million quid a year from being in the European Super League?
Exactly. Yeah,
they're going nowhere.
Sarah,
I mean, I fundamentally disagree with it, and I do think it could potentially, for all the points that Jamie said earlier, I think he came across very well, ruin English football / club football. That's where they make their bread and butter. 38 games a season, fans coming in the door and spending money. But I was trying to look at it from the other side today, and I just kind of came back to it. If this was announced and we weren't part of it, it goes ahead, as Steve said, it gets the massive fanfare, and then it creeps out that we turned down that opportunity. Yeah. I can't even imagine how sick we would feel as a fan base at the same point. So I think they're a little bit damned if they do, and they're a little bit damned if they don't, in terms of no matter what they did, we probably would have been angry with them. Again, I think financially the numbers, if you're looking at it from purely a business perspective, you can't really turn down what they're offering. No. I hope it's leverage. I hope it's leverage to, make a much more sensible international calendar for clubs so that their players are not being sent halfway around the world at stupid points within a season. And I hope it's to sort of keep the Champions League competitive, because what is the point in expanding that to, was it meant to be going to 40 teams or something? I mean, it's just crap.
36,
it's all 36 teams. It's just crap anyway. There is always at least one, dead rubber really within the group stage, like one team you're playing, and you can almost guarantee you'll win. And they're almost watering it down to, Europa League levels, which, by the way, I bloody hate, and I'd rather not be in it. But that's where it's going to get to if they expand it. So I'm hoping it's leverage, but if the numbers are there, I think it will go ahead.
So it's almost like it's better to be in the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in, isn't it? Steve, what are you going to say?
Well, that's always the case, isn't it? Otherwise you get pissed on.
Yeah. But although I normally do get told by the police to leave the campsite at that point.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that the better. But what's the difference in numbers between the current Champions League format and the expanded Champions League format? It's not 12 per chance, is it? Because if it's 12,
I think it is. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then
up to 36.
So is that not part of it? Then they're saying, well, actually, if you expand the Champions League to 36, then we're just gonna we don't agree with that. We're the 12 that are just gonna walk away, even though both Spurs and Arsenal, as has been said, are taking the piss to say, well, actually, we're going to be part of the 12 that don't want to be in the
AC Milan. Yeah.
But they were talking about this, and there was a thing. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a thing today about the clubs that were part of this, like the Milan, Inter Milan, Arsenal's, like, who haven't won a league, haven't won a league for years. You know what I mean? And we're saying we're part of the Super League. I mean, we won fuck all for years.
Yeah.
It's a liberty.
I think
it's
that's
an
the embarrassment.
joke.